Right, potentially this is a slightly harder looking page, but you do know the answers, you just might not realise you do. So, why do firms such as Rachel Organic always attempt to improve their range of products? Now, when we talk about range, that means instead of just selling one type of yogurt, they might sell loads of different types of yogurts, or even loads of different types of products. So, why would they actually want to do this? One reason is, very simply, they'll increase profits. You have to explain this though. You can't just say increase profits. You could say this is because they'll have more products to sell. They might be able to. What would they be able to do? They'd be able to. They've segmented the market, so they'll be able to go into more different segments of the market. For example, they could have a product for wealthy people or for less wealthy people. So that's one point. A second point, which is a really good one. One of the main reasons why you increase your range of the products is it's an extension strategy. So when, and I mean, if you've talked about that, I can't spell strategies. If you talk about that, you're going to sound so clever, because extension strategies are strategies you put in at which stage of the product life cycle. It is at the maturity stage, where products are starting to get boring and people aren't buying it anymore. So you might change the flavour or something like that. And that's one of the reasons why they do it, because it stops their products from going into decline. And if you can explain that point, they'd be really impressed with you. Other reasons is maybe to keep up with competition. So for example, if their competition had gone into different markets, they might think, well, we better keep up and not just be on our own selling one product. I still think you could say it spreads risk. So if one area goes wrong, then at least the other area will come back. And you could call this, again, to do with economies of scale. So there's lots of stuff you could say there. Right, the second question is basically a scary way of asking, what are the plus points and minus points of selling abroad? You don't need to know anything about Europe particularly. You just need to think about good things and bad things about selling abroad. So, obviously, good thing is you get a bigger market. And what am I going to say? You know what I'm going to say? I'm going to say economies of scale. Now, don't think to yourself, I'm not going to define economies of scale again. Define it again, explain it again, and give examples of economies of scale they might benefit from. Maybe give different examples to the ones in your previous question. So this time you might talk about like purchasing, but still say it again. Don't just think because I've said it in the previous question they'll give you marks. They won't. You've got to go again. Right. What else? Again, you can say spreading risk. Like I'm going through the mark scheme here, and it's all the same stuff again and again. What else? What are the reasons you want to do it? More range of wider range of customers. Right. They're all pretty easy, good ones. Problems. Why is it bad to sell abroad? One is, you could argue they have different tastes. There could be language problems. So, you'd have to change all the language on your packaging. That would be also expensive, changing packaging. There might be new rules that you have to go with. So you might need to, I don't know, you might not be allowed to sell your sort of product abroad. There could be, now this is high level, but you could say there could be a change in the exchange rate. And if anyone remembers this, good on you. But exchange rate, if the currency suddenly became strong, it'd be a strong pound, imports would become cheap, exports would become dear, and that'd be bad for the UK firms. Now, I'm not saying in any way you're going to say all these things, but as long as you say two good things and explain them, say two bad things and explain them, and then to get that final mark, do a final judgment, then you're going to be perfectly fine. But don't be scared of doing maybe 2 or 3, maybe go for another one. Just a final thing, you have to say the judgment, and I'd much rather you said 2 or 3 good on each side than 8 on each side that you didn't explain.